Welcome to the Immigrant Entrepreneurs Podcast, episode 40.
Now everybody wants to go to Turkey. They visit, and which they have a right to do so. But when we were growing up, our generation, it was nothing but terrorism. Bombs, bullets, tanks, M16s, you name it. That's how we grew up. Yes.
My name is Zelina Warwick, and today we have Gurhan Demirkan on the show. Gurhan's original journey to United States failed because the military took over the government in Turkey and all planes stopped flying. He came to the United States when he was 18 years old and he didn't know any English at all. He created several different companies and several of them failed. He was in the manufacturing industry, and in fact, his custom air conditioning manufacturing company was one of the biggest ones in the East Coast. He then created an internet marketing business, and now he operates two completely different companies. One is selling supplements, and the other one is in the augmented reality industry. Both companies have genius business models, and I absolutely love what Gurhan is doing with innovation, creativity, technology, and health. So let's dive right in. Okay, Gurhan, thank you so much for joining me on the Immigrant Entrepreneurs Podcast. I'm truly honored to speak with you about your journey. So welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Nice to hear from you.
So let's talk about your immigrant journey. Tell us where you're from and when did you come to the United States?
Sure. I came from Turkey a long time ago. That is 1982, actually. And when I first came to America, it was not like this. I can tell you that. I came to America to go to college, university. So I did. And I graduated and I stayed in America.
Okay, so you originally left your family to go to school and then just happened that United States stole your heart and you decided to stay.
Yes. Well, before then, I went to boarding school anyway. So I was out of the family, age of 13, maybe, something like that.
Oh, wow. Okay, so and how old were you when you came to the United States to study?
18 years old.
Okay, and what did you study?
I studied mechanical engineering.
Oh, okay. Awesome. And so what was it like growing up in Turkey?
Oh, that was pretty awful. Our time was awful. Now everybody wants to go to Turkey. They visit, and which they have a right to do so. But when we were growing up, our generation, it was nothing but terrorism. Bombs, bullets, tanks, M16s, you name it. That's how we grew up. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And so was the violence happening every day while you went to school and came back? Was this just an environment that you had to be normalized to?
When we were growing up, my father always told us that we were going to America. That's how we grew up. And again, we come from a wealthy family. My father knew from prime minister to who knows what. And that's how we grew up. And he always told us that we were going to America and we were going to live in America. Because before most Turkish people read about America, my father actually came and saw America. So that's when he decided to send his sons and one daughter to America. That's how America journey started for us when we were little, actually. So when I finished high school, which was a boarding school in Turkey, actually, there is a little story there. The military took over the government. There was a military coup. Wow. And I couldn't come to America. That's funny. That was the day I was going to come to America. And of course, everything stopped, no airplanes, nothing. And everybody had to stay. And the military, when they opened it, Pan Am by then, that was the first plane taking off. I was on that plane with a bunch of Americans. And believe me, that plane would have never taken off if it were today. Snowing up your knees, anything. But it did take off.
Wow, amazing. And so were you on the plane by yourself?
Yes, of course. I was on the plane by myself, no English, nothing. And I was coming to America.
And so, what school did you get signed into, or how did you get specifically enrolled into that school?
When I first came to America, I couldn't speak English to start with.
Okay.
So I had to learn English. And it took me about 6 months to learn English, not English, of course, street language English. And I started going to this little school down at Southern Maryland. I was the first foreigner in the history of the school.
Wow.
Yes. And after 2 years, my journey is very interesting. After 2 years, I was accepted to two big colleges. One of them was the University of Maryland. By then, it was huge. It's still big in Baltimore. And the other one was George Washington University in Washington, D.C. So I decided to visit both of them. First, I went to University of Maryland. Again, you have to understand something. You're coming from Turkey. In your mind, school is two buildings. That's it. And yeah, so I drove to University of Maryland. Of course, I got lost inside of the University of Maryland. I couldn't find a parking spot. I was so mad. So same day, I got into the car. I drove to Washington, D.C. D.C. is very organized. It's like letters, streets, and numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And you have an address. It's like 21st and I. I still remember 21st and I. And it was so simple, 21st and I. And I just walked into the admissions and I said, I want to go to this school. Here's my acceptance. They go, okay. That's how I started.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Amazing. Okay. So let me trace back. When you were on the plane at 18 years old to come to America, did you have any family or friends to meet you in the United States?
Well, you want to hear another good story?
Yes.
This is, again, I landed in New York. Again, you have to think 80s. Pan Am is still operating. I landed in New York, and my brother was in America by then. So he wanted to pick me up from New York and took me from New York to Maryland so that I could see America. And it was snowing very heavily. And by the time he got to New York, everything was closed. And here I am on the airport. Again, coming from Turkey, there are only 3 airports in Turkey, little ones. So little that I knew, I was in an airport and I am looking for Pan Am Airlines. So I went to a guy, a security guard. I said, Pan Am. And he started showing everywhere. And of course, I had no idea the whole airport was Pan Am. So I got on a plane. I flew to Ronald Reagan, that they call it right now.
Uh-huh.
Of course, my brother is in New York and no cell phones by then. And it's all bright and shiny in Washington, D.C. So my brother called Maryland and talked to my sister-in-law's sister to pick me up at the airport, which we had never seen each other before. Of course, nobody showed. So no English. I hired a cabbie and went to the house. Of course, there's nobody in the house.
Which house?
My brother's house.
Oh, got it.
Everybody was looking for me.
Okay.
And dog, again, it was unheard of, a dog in the house in Turkey. No such thing.
Really?
No such thing. Yes. Right now, you could. Of course, everybody's used to this idea. But by then, no. Dogs outside. Nothing in the house. No animals in the house. So you're afraid and you can't get into the house. I went knocking on the door of the neighbor and I hid my luggages behind shrubs.
Uh-huh.
Everybody was laughing at me. It's like, of course, you have no idea.
Wow.
That's all I had. 2 luggages, 2 suitcases.
Yeah. Wow. And so I hope that your brother was able to join you that night.
Yes.
Okay.
He drove all the way from New York. It was just funny.
Hopefully you didn't sleep outside.
No.
Yeah. Wow. What a journey. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay. So, and tell me more about the struggles that you had to go through when you first immigrated. So I'm hearing you had absolutely no English.
No English.
Tell me a little bit more. How did you maneuver? How did you get into the culture?
Sure, we didn't grow up. It's not like this typical American story. The immigrant comes to America and he has nothing. No, we were the opposite. I come from a wealthy family, and my father had been in America, and he was telling us all about it. When we came to America, we were just about hearing from him and everybody else. We almost knew America. Adjustment period was not that difficult because my brother was in America, but no English. And one thing that I decided, which was a good decision, if you stay with a family or somebody who speaks your language when you first come to this country, you are not going to learn English. That's the truth. So
Right.
what I did, I told my brother, I said, look, I can't speak English. I want to go to school and I want to stay on campus. So he dropped me off and no English, nothing. I had to learn English. Struggles, yes, of course. And I had a black friend, by the way, the smartest person I've ever met in my life. Incredibly smart, incredibly smart. My IQ is higher, but his IQ is incredible. He was teaching me. He's from New York with this black accent. And everybody would laugh at us. It's like, come on, some black guy teaching the foreigner how to speak English. It's like, be quiet. I'm learning English here.
Right. Got it. So that's how you basically learn English. You
Yes.
just put yourself out there and you had no
Yes.
options but
Yes.
to dive in.
You had to. I had to. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So, Gurhan, before you tell our listeners about your company, or shall I say 2 companies or several companies, and tell me a little bit more about the path you took. And I want to know if you wanted to try to go into any other fields before starting your businesses.
I did. Well, again, we grew up as entrepreneurs. We were always told to have our own company and we were always told to be successful. Again, not in the dictatorship manner.
Mhm.
This is the way that we grew up.
Mhm.
And when we came to America, I believe after I graduated, I tried to find a job. I did. And that was the first job I held. And then one more job in my life, 2 jobs. And then I
Wow.
started my company. And again, I was saying this, it was an incredible failure, very badly. That was a mechanical, of course, I had a mechanical engineering background. So I started a mechanical contractor and failure. And then after that, I started another company, export import company. Again, failure, but less failure.
Mhm.
And then after that, I started another company. In between, I had a job. I had to pick myself up. So that's the second job I ever held in my life. But the third time I tried, I went from a little, I would say about 20 by 30 space manufacturing air conditioning units to 40,000 square feet, import, export. And I had the biggest manufacturing facility for custom air conditioning units in the East Coast.
And how did you get into that?
Again, mechanical engineering
Mm.
and background. And at some point, I had to go back to Turkey and I had to join the military. It's mandatory for Turkish males. So after the military duty, I got a job briefly. I wanted to stay in Turkey, so to do something. And that company was manufacturing air conditioning units, which was fine. It wasn't strange to me. And then when I came to America, after that, I said, hey, I can continue with this, but not the regular air conditioning units that you find in your house. These are huge, like 18-wheeler kind of sizes. And just think about one unit, the minimum shipment was about $20,000, like 3
Mhm.
trucks.
Mm.
We had to section it out and we had to engineer it and whatnot. Huge
Commercial
units.
size.
Extremely commercial size, industrial
Mhm.
and commercial size.
Mhm.
Yes. And I sold the company and that was it.
Oh my goodness.
That
Okay.
was the beginning of the success, actually. Let's put it that way.
Okay. Okay. So why did you decide to sell that company?
Actually, manufacturing is, how should I say, different animal. And you get burned out. I was sleeping for like, I'd say about 3 hours to 4 hours a day.
Wow.
And again, manufacturing is incredible. Just think about it. You have, let's say, $5-6 million equipment sitting on the floor. You're manufacturing, and you're getting paid for it in 12 to 14 weeks. And so you have to finance this. And something happens. One little screw just doesn't show up. You're out of $5 million. You're waiting there.
Oh,
It just sits there. It's a lot of work. And I just decided to sell it to the company which I used to work for, actually, way back in Turkey. So they bought it. It's all good. And one thing that they didn't do is I kept telling them to hire an American manager to run the
yeah.
company, but they
Mhm.
didn't. They sent somebody from Turkey. And I said, this is a big mistake. Don't do this. You cannot run an American company in America, because I've seen it happening. Huge companies coming from Japan and everything. They made the same mistake. And after spending millions of dollars, they just packed up and went back to Japan and Germany.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't listen to me. And guess what? 6 months, they stopped. In a year, they closed up. That was it.
Wow.
Yeah, that's okay. I took my money.
Yeah. Okay. So then after that company, what did you decide to go into?
Traveling around the world twice.
Nice.
Yes.
I like
yes.
that. You got paid to do that?
Yeah. Well, I paid myself to do that.
Yeah. I love it.
And when I came back to America, I decided that there are two things that go around the world. One, money. Two, internet.
Mhm.
Those two things definitely go around the world. So I decided on the internet company. So if you go through, just dig a little deeper, I started an internet marketing company, LLC. The website is still there. And along with Google and everything else. And I was very successful. Again, I had clients from America. Again, just think way back when internet is starting, not like saturated now. It was a cat and mouse thing between us and Google. So after that, I wanted to start another company. It was getting very saturated. It just started becoming a dog market. And I quit that one. And again, I went back to Turkey. So I married my wife.
Nice.
And yes, and we started a company in Turkey. And we brought print on demand, which was unheard of in Turkey, to Turkey. And people knew what ebook was, but they actually didn't have, they have a vague idea. And we brought ebook to Turkey. So that company is still running. Our daughter is running the company, and my wife is the backbone. I hardly touch that company. I'm much more focused on America. And after we came to America, we started these two companies. One of them is Chattypix. The other one is Biavexia. And again, my wife is the CFO of big, large corporations back in Turkey. And she runs the finances, and I run the rest of it in America. But I hardly do anything with the Turkish company.
Got it. Okay.
Now it's current. Now we're talking about these days. That's the journey. It's a long journey.
Yeah. A lot of different steps along the way.
Very. Yes.
Yeah. That's awesome. And I'm glad to hear that you did not give up through all of those different businesses that you've opened and closed and sold, and quite a journey. But I'm sure there's going to be so many useful advice that you're going to give us. So tell us a little bit more about both of your companies right now and what they do.
Yes. One of them is Biavexia. That's a supplement company.
Okay.
What we decided, again, people have to understand this. Supplements, it looks like a very saturated market, but the saturated portion is the sports side, like these proteins and whatnot for the sports. The other side, the wellness side, the health side, is not that saturated. So we did our due diligence, and we came up with Focus, which is nootropics, and Immune. So we started working with a doctor meaning PhD, and designed our formulas. And we found a manufacturer. Right now, we are getting our first shipment and we're launching the company most likely in about a couple of weeks.
Okay, so mechanical engineering, and then you had all these other different industries, and then print on demand. I just want to know, was there a specific moment when you just woke up and said, okay, supplements is next? Or what was that story like?
Okay. After I became a mechanical engineer, I realized after some years that it's good to be an engineer, but you should stay in the money side. So I started taking business courses, and I believe I took more economics courses than a business major did. I had to learn money because that's where the business is, not in the mechanical engineering side. So you have to think that, yes, I do have a mechanical engineering degree, but much more into the business side. Mechanical engineering degree gives you the ability to solve problems, become technical. It's really nice, but money side actually makes the money. So coming back to your question, when we started thinking what kind of a business we should start, we started researching. This was happening before COVID. We found out that supplement business is going to grow up to $120 billion business in 5 years.
Oh, wow.
So that is a cue. And you start digging. And of course, we purchased reports. And when you say purchase reports, report is not $200. One report is like $5,000. Intense reports, very deeply researched. And we came up with the idea that forget about the sports side. Yes, stay on the health side. That's how we decided on the supplement. So,
and who's we?
Okay, supplement side has 4 partners: me, my wife, my brother, and his wife.
Okay.
So that's we. Again, a family-owned company.
Got it.
Yes, they are here in Austin also.
Okay, great. So you basically just took that as a business decision. What is a most profitable or one of the most profitable industries currently right now? And then you did some more research and found that, okay, we're going to tap into that and go right ahead.
The way that we start businesses is we make plans. Everything is planned out, always. So 2 companies, augmented reality, it took about 2 years to develop. And the first year or so, it wasn't working out quite well because of the technical difficulties and etc. So we perfected it. In fact, today, I just submitted the last revision, the app revision to Google, and our team submitted it from Pakistan, the Apple revision. So we're good with that. And now we are going to start upgrading it and updating it and etc. Now we can go into the market and tell everybody. But getting back to the plan, when we start business, everything is planned out. So augmented reality company is a company that we are going to sell in about 5 to 7 years. That's what the company is being prepped for. But supplement company, we're going IPO. And if you ask why, because of the growth of the industry. I mean, just think about it. Only in America, you have billions of dollars industry, and you keep that company. But augmented reality is not going to grow that much. So we started planning on prepping that company to sell, but we go IPO on the supplement company, and then we retire. There you go. Yes.
We can end the show here. Wow. Okay. So what about Chattypix?
The name Chattypix comes from chatty, which is talking, Pix, pictures, Pix. We made it shorter, Pix. So what it does, it's in simple terms, you scan an image and a video plays on your device. So when you put it this way, it's like, so what, right? That's nothing exceptional. Well, it is exceptional. To start with, there is nobody in this scale that does this at the moment in the world. You can see some augmented reality people doing it. Hey, look what I did. He scans a little image and then 3D image pops up and starts talking, things like that. Yes, that's good. But the scale is different. So when we develop the platform, let's say that you are a direct mail company and you're constantly preparing campaigns for this client, for that client, and etc. And of course, you're constantly sending out images to the people to buy something. Well, let's just think about this. When you have an app out there, let's say a Facebook or something like that, a well-known app, when somebody sees an image and he takes out his cell phone and he scans it, and let's say that you are the owner of that company, you pop up and start talking, hey, would you like to buy one of my products? Or look how great we are. Now, the direct mail company, instead of sending an image and trying to catch attention to somebody with that image, now it's alive. And on the top of that, when that device starts playing that video, there is a button that you click to buy the product or go anywhere you want on the internet. Mm-hmm. So it becomes a little bit more into the buying, selling, marketing, advertising platform. And after all this, in the back end, we keep analytics as to who opened the image, male, demographics, female, age, where, which region, what world. We just keep all this. So it becomes a lot more valuable to the people who do actually advertising, marketing, selling, and anything to do with internet. So we have other plans for this, but this is the whole core. It's not just scan the image and play the video. The scale is totally different, way out there, selling this to the companies who do huge businesses like direct mailing or publishing. But let's just imagine you are the owner of a magazine. Mm-hmm. You can imagine that. I mean, somebody comes up and scans your front page and pops up a nice, beautiful lady doing a catwalk and doing the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, what a genius product. So is this also going to be used for educational purposes in schools?
We started with that because it was very hard to explain this. People would understand this concept, but it's hard to grasp it. So we started this with a character called Pigmelon, and we put out flashcards. In the flashcards, there's alphabet. It sings. You hold up A, it starts singing like A, letter A, and then organs, and then shapes and fruits. And then next step is to go to the schools. I know in schools in these days, those kids always have iPhones and whatever not.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just imagine some kid is walking right by the wall and you have the pictures of the presidents, and then he scans the president, and all of a sudden Nixon comes up or Kennedy comes up and starts talking.
Wow.
Or Martin Luther King starts talking, I have a dream.
So is this product launched already, and is it in the market?
Yes, it is in the market. Today we updated it and we have other plans for it. And I can actually reveal it in this show the first time.
Okay.
Ready?
Yes, here we go.
Here we go. We are going to have a 3D store, a mall integrated to this app.
No way.
So just imagine you're walking down the street or you're at the airport or something like that, and you scan this image and you tap a little button and you go into the 3D store, and you're walking alone. You're seeing lingeries and things like that. You just kind of take one and you just turn it in your hands and you just say, oh, I like this. Click, put it in the cart and purchase.
Wow. Okay. So I got to ask, you have all these amazing and unique ideas. Where do they come from?
Again, creativity is a different thing. I just surfed internet in my spare time. Mm-hmm. Actually, this 3D idea came to me, not in this scale. Again, you just see little things and then you can just start thinking, hey, I can implement that to this and make it larger. Let's see if I can make it larger, make it better. So this 3D shop or mall it came to me when I was surfing Fiverr, believe it or not.
Oh.
I was just going through and, hey, let's see what these guys do, And then this one guy was saying, hey, look, I can do 3D shops. I'm like, this is interesting. Okay, let's start digging in. And there you go. What comes up is an integration of a mall, 3D mall, into your augmented reality app.
I see. So you're always searching for different creative ideas from the little things that you can find through searching and Googling and other sources. But that is a creative and unique mind. So
yes, I mean,
not a lot of people can see things like that. I gotta say.
I mean, and my wife is all sick and tired of this. Like, we live in the Domain in Texas. Domain is a big shopping mall kind of place with residences and things, Louis Vuittons and whatever. So if you're walking around, I see, let's say, a shop painted in different color. I'm like, hey, you know what we can do? We can take this color and we can actually create a cover for a book which will stand out to do this. Of course, she's sick and tired. No, I don't want to hear it. No, we're not doing a book.
Awesome. I love it. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for sharing that. So, Gurhan, how old were you when you started your first business?
Let's see. I came to America when I was 18. Add 4 years, that's 22. Add another for learning English, that's 25. Put another year for, again, after graduation, get a job kind of thing. 26, 27.
Got it. And then after that, you just kept on opening up companies and continued on.
Yes, exactly.
Awesome. Okay, so I want to hear about your two current businesses that you have. How long did it take your businesses to start seeing some real traction in the beginning stages?
Actually, these two are still in the startup phase. Chattypix, we started seeing some tractions. Again, if you go to Amazon, you can see the Pigmelon flashcards. And a few people bought it. Everything is fine. It's working. But we really haven't launched it yet to a greater scale. And for the supplement side, as I said it before, we are getting our first shipment next week on the 26th. And we're launching it most likely in about a week after that. Everything is ready. The trademark is taken. Everything is all ready. We have actually a page on Amazon. It's not launched yet, of course. Everything is all closed up. We're just waiting for the first shipment. We want our hands on it.
And then tell me again, the supplements, what's included? Is there anything specific to like superfoods or different teas, or what are your main source of ingredients for your supplements?
Again, nootropics, which is focus. Let's look at the market. When you go out there and look at the supplements in the market, all these big companies, they go, hey, nootropics, focus, and everything. They usually have like one or two elements inside. I call them elements. Ours is a lot more complicated, more ingredients, I should say. Plus, our supplements are prepared as in hot fill. Hot fill means they, let's just say, boil it up, heat up the ingredients, kill the germs and everything else, and then fill it into the bottle. Versus you just mix up all the ingredients cold and put them into the bottle, which then you need to put preservatives inside. So that's where we start differing. We don't have preservatives. It's hot fill. And the formula has a lot more ingredients and a lot more complicated. And we need to, of course, expose this to the customers outside.
Got it. Okay. So I can't wait for it to be launched.
Yes. Again, as you said, saturated market. There are ways to get into the saturated market, as we did Entrepreneurship 101. First, we research, you do your due diligence, and wherever the void is, you start filling that market. And in our case, the void is, of course, preservatives, which is cold fill. Anybody can do it. You can do it. Take zinc, take this, take that, and put them into a little bottle, and there you have it. That's how you fill that void, and you start carving a market for yourself.
You made it sound so easy.
Well, yes, it took about a year and a half and lots of money.
Yeah. Yeah. So speaking of money, did you have to raise any capital to start your businesses?
No,
No.
this is all our money.
Wow.
All our
Okay.
money. Again, as I explained, Chattypix and supplements. We are planning on raising money, and we are planning on going to a Kickstarter for the Chattypix.
Okay.
However, for the supplement side, yes, we will be doing angels and VCs and etc. because that's an IPO. That's a big, huge business. You need to raise good bit of millions of dollars to be able to do that. So in order to do that, I mean, you have to be a super rich person to be able to put some money into it, but which we don't have. That's why we need to raise money. Up to this point, yes, we used our money, but after this point, yes, we're going to start raising money from outside.
Got it. Okay. But so far, you've been bootstrapped and using all your. Okay. Got it.
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So let's move on to the mentor side. Did you have any mentors that helped you out to start your businesses?
Nope, I don't. I never did.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah. Actually, I could become a mentor.
Yeah, you should. Wow. Okay. So you basically just started all on your own. Did you read any business books? I know you said you took a bunch of econ classes and that helped you out with finances and stuff like that. But what about like running a business? Did you read any books? Did you take any other extra courses? You're basically doing this all by yourself.
Books.
Books. Okay. What kind of books?
Definitely books. Well, what kind of books? Any kind of books you should read. If you're going to become a business person, you need to be overall. So I used to read a lot. I would just go to the library and just walk and just pick books. It doesn't matter. Psychology, whatever. It makes no difference. Just pick him, and take him back home and just read him and give him back to the library. So reading a lot, it kind of in your brain connects other circuits together. It really doesn't matter if you're reading about math, quantum physics, or business, or psychology, or anything. A nice novel, actually, some love story, you should read. Now, reading books as in business, yes, I read many, many books. And again, in our house, we had books on the floor, like piles, you know.
Growing up, you mean?
No, I mean, my daughter is growing up, and we had books on the floor, piles of books. And we would just go sit there and just start reading a book, and they're okay, this was easy, and read another book, and then just put them all together and take them back to the library.
I think we found the secret to success is through reading books.
I would say yes, you should read, definitely.
Awesome. Great. I love it. Okay. So looking back at your immigrant entrepreneur career, what are some of the struggles that you had to go through in the beginning stages?
Beginning stages, English was the biggest struggle. You have to learn English. So you must have a good command if you want to make it big. If you're going to open mom and pop shop, if you want to stay regional or local, I understand. But if you want to go bigger, you must have a good command of the language. So that's the struggle that I had to go through. In fact, what I did, I used to rent a little room in a house, and I would leave at 5 o'clock in the morning, catch a bus to go to work, I should say. That's the first job that I had. So on the way, I would buy a Wall Street Journal. I couldn't understand a word of it. We're talking Wall Street Journal.
Yeah.
So what I would do, I would highlight all these words. I would bring it back and put it on the table. And the landlord used to be a teacher. And I'm telling you, for hours and hours, she was sick and tired of explaining the meanings of the words to me.
And thankfully, she was able to help you out. So that's amazing.
Yes. After a year, she kept saying, I created a monster.
Yeah.
Yes. So struggles, English was one struggle.
Hmm.
And the second struggle, which everybody goes through, it was very brief to me. Again, I had to say, because of my English and accepting the American way, as a foreigner, you are not accepted. That's the beginning, you know.
Hmm. Hmm.
I'm not smearing anything on Americans until Americans understand that, hey, yes, I accepted the American way. Look, I don't speak English, I speak American. And I think the way you think. I know American history most likely more than 90% of the Americans in America do. When you start having this and you just kind of go over that hump, everybody accepts you. Very brief time. That was it. And other than that, struggles, just business struggles and money struggles. That's all.
Those are some big struggles, money
Yes.
struggles.
It's an entrepreneur's life.
So I'm really interested to know, how do you look at failures and how do you overcome them?
Failures. I studied the martial arts for 17 years. So,
Oh,
one thing that you learn is you learn more from your losses than your wins.
wow.
Believe me, yes, you do. In martial arts, somebody kick your butt and you learn very quickly not to do that again. So, failures are lessons actually. And any failure, like as I explained before, the first one, the second one, these failures, again, you never do them again. Not again. I'm not sorry that I failed. I'm actually happy that I failed so that I learned. I grew very quickly so that I had the biggest and most prominent air conditioning manufacturer company, custom unit factory in the East Coast. That's how I see the failures. Now, if you're asking me about the successes, how do you define a success is a different story. I am going to say not money, but achievements. Achievements, it's a lot more important than your success. You can have millions of dollars. You can inherit money. You can whatever. But achievements, and any achievement, I mean, raising a child would be an achievement. You know, good
Right.
child. Yes.
Right.
Actually, that's a huge achievement. Achievements are a lot more important, and that signifies the success for me.
Mm.
Any achievement.
So can you outline any of the achievements from your immigrant entrepreneur career?
Sure. Well, how about this? A daughter is an achievement because I was a single dad. And among all this, I was telling you about the factories and everything. Just think about a single dad raising a daughter. That is an achievement, believe me.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Yes. But other achievements, actually, the other achievement that I have is to be able to think that within 10 years, we are planning on helping children. Just to be able to think and plan on that, that's an achievement. When we achieve it, that's a different story. So, my wife and I are planning on helping children, mostly poor children or disadvantaged children, and we will bring them back and educate them back into the society.
And I know you will get there.
Uh, yes, we are planning on that.
Yes. Awesome. Fabulous. All right, Gurhan. So, what does the American dream mean to you?
Actually, I just read a little snippet. The youngsters in America are not anymore dreaming like that American dream, being rich, huge house, a couple of houses and yachts, and they are not there anymore. They are a lot more into equality and helping people. That's what I read.
Mhm.
Today's youngsters.
Mhm.
And as far as I'm concerned, I still have the American dream. Yes, I will own an island. I would like my yachts, and I would leave a legacy to this world, including our children, and they will continue, but not for the money, for helping out people.
Yes, that's so powerful. And so, is giving back, either volunteering time or giving back to the community, something that is part of your business values?
Not at the moment because we're busy, but as I explained it, within the 10 years period,
Mhm.
we are planning on helping children. And again, in my case, girls, because I believe, very strongly believe, that when we, as in humans, including males and females, understand the meaning of female, we are going to go 10, 20, 100 light years ahead. We just must understand the value of the female. That includes the females. They have to understand that. And that comes from my studies of Hinduism and Buddhism. That is yin and yang. So
Awesome.
Again, that's another podcast.
Yeah. Awesome. Great. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah.
Yes. Again, going back to the giving back to the community. Yes. Right now, we can't do it. We're very busy, but we do have a plan to help the children.
Got it. Awesome. What are some things you would advise the next aspiring immigrant that wants to start their own business listening to you right now?
The first one, a very important one, get your family behind you or next to you. You must, your wife, your spouse, I should say, she or he, that he has or she has to be next to you, helping you out. Starting a business in America, it seems and sounds funny and fun and cool and easy, but it is not a joke. It is not a walk in the park, and you are not picking American dollars off of trees. You are going to be working. And in the down times, you need your family. That is the first advice that I would give.
Mm-hmm.
Get them behind you. Okay? They help you. They have to help you out. Second, have a good command of English. Must. Read books, learn English. That is a must. And third one, it is actually fun. Have fun.
Yes.
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 Again, I've been around the world like twice. And believe me, as you said, the American dream, that dream only exists in America. And you can achieve it. You can actually have it if you work towards it. And whatever I just counted, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, go have fun, start something, and get your wife or your husband on your side or behind you and learn English and just be focused. You will get it because this is a country. You will accomplish it.
Yeah, you are the very first person on the show that says, go and have fun with it.
Yes.
So It's refreshing to hear that.
Absolutely. I mean, even though I sound like a very disciplined guy, you know, I wake up at 4:30, go this, go that. Believe me, among all that, it is just laughters and fun and everything else.
Great. Thank you so much. Hey, and I appreciate all of the advice and all the invaluable, powerful advice that you've given us. And thank you so much for coming onto this show. I wish you all the best of successes. And I hope to hear some amazing products coming your way and hearing all about the launches. Yeah. So thank you so much, Gurhan. I had a great time chatting with you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Alrighty, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. If there are any links that were mentioned in this episode, make sure to check them out on my website under this episode to find all the links conveniently located in the show notes. I just wanted to ask for a quick favor. If you could please leave a review wherever you're at listening to this podcast. Also, if you're an immigrant entrepreneur and would love to be on my podcast, please email me and we'll get connected. I'll see you guys all next time for another exciting and impactful episode. Take care.